You know that old idea of climbing the career ladder? Well, you can pretty much forget about it. There's a huge shift happening in the world of work right now, and believe it or not, the proof is hiding right in our Google searches. Today, we're going to dig into a whole new philosophy for our professional lives.
It all really boils down to this one question, a question that's suddenly popping up everywhere. Now, you might not have heard the term career minimalism before, but trust me, it's the key to understanding how millions of people, especially Gen Z, are completely rethinking their relationship with their jobs.
So, what's the big idea here? Well, career minimalism basically flips the old script. Instead of pouring everything into a demanding career and trying to build a life around it, the new goal is to find a job that actually supports the life you want to live. It's a really powerful pivot toward balance and, just being happy.
And hey, this isn't just some fringe idea. The data is crystal clear. Just in the last month, Google searches for Gen Z career minimalism have absolutely exploded. That tells us a whole new generation is actively looking for a different way to think about success.
Now, when we say breakout, what does that actually mean? We're not talking about a little bump in interest. This is a term Google uses for ideas that go from practically zero to a massive level of interest almost overnight. It's kind of like a tiny spark suddenly catching fire online.
Okay, so how does this philosophy actually show up in the real world? Well, the first and biggest area is flexibility. But what does flexibility even mean these days? It's about so much more than just where you're logging in from.
And this slide right here, it just lays it all out so clearly. We've gone from asking, what's the career ladder, to asking, what does flexibility mean in a job? That's a fundamental shift from worrying about hierarchy to demanding autonomy. It's a total change in what people value. And look at these breakout searches. People aren't just thinking about flexibility, they're actively researching how to define it. And this is the important part, how to actually negotiate for it in an interview. That tells you it's gone from a nice-to-have to an absolute must-have. This new focus on work-life balance is also pushing people to rethink the kind of work they do in the first place. We're seeing this major pivot away from abstract corporate jobs and toward roles that have real, tangible skills. There's this growing hunger for work where you can actually see the results of what you did that day, where you build something or fix something or create something real. It's a search for that direct satisfaction that, let's be honest, you don't always get in a typical office job.
And the numbers, they're just staggering. Get this. In just a past month, searches for electrician apprenticeship shot up by 130%. That is not a small uptick. It's a huge sign that skilled trades are making a major comeback.
And it's not just the trades either. Creative fields are absolutely booming. Searches for how much graphic designers make have jumped by 200%. People are clearly trying to figure out if their creative side can also be a path to a flexible, solid career.
And to really hammer this point home, searches for the best jobs for creative people are up a massive 170%. The pattern here is undeniable. People are actively trying to find jobs that line up with both their practical skills and their creative side.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. When people were searching for Gen Z jobs, one of the top related searches was trade school. That's a huge deal. It shows that for a growing number of young people, the path to a good career isn't necessarily the traditional four-year college route anymore.
So, this idea of taking a different path leads us right into our third major theme, accessibility. There's a massive, and I mean massive, demand for jobs that have lower barriers to entry, jobs that don't need years of experience or a super specific, expensive degree.
Just listen to this stat. This past fall, searches for jobs that require little to no experience hit an all-time high, a record high. That tells us people are really eager to get into the workforce and start building their lives without needing to jump through all the old hoops. And right here, we see two of our biggest themes just crash into each other. A 250% surge in searches for remote jobs that require no experience. This is like the ultimate expression of career minimalism, right? It's about finding work that is flexible, accessible, and lets you start living your life on your own terms right now. So what jobs are people actually looking for? It's a really wild mix. You've got these hands-on, practical jobs like construction and oil field work, right next to remote-friendly roles like transcription. And then there's the high-risk, high-reward world of day trading. What do they all have in common? A low barrier to entry. All right, so after diving into all this data, what's the big takeaway? What does this all mean for the future of work? And maybe more importantly, what does it mean for your own career? This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We're not just watching a few small changes to the old rules. We are literally witnessing a generation rewrite the entire definition of what a successful, fulfilling career even looks like.
So let's do a super quick recap of what we've seen. First, career minimalism is becoming the new guiding philosophy. Second, flexibility isn't a perk anymore, it's the price of admission. Third, there's a huge pivot happening toward practical, hands-on skills. And finally, the hunt for accessible jobs with low barriers to entry is absolutely booming. And all of this leaves us with one final and I think really crucial question to think about. As all the old rules of work start to crumble and new ones are written, it's really time to ask yourself, in this new world, what does a good career truly mean to you?